Hi, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. First of all, a Happy New Year. It's Robin here again, so thanks if you're coming back to this channel to view the content, and thank you if you're joining for the first time. So without further ado, I'd like to crack on and run through the current opportunity with the Golden Visa in Portugal. So it's been extremely popular for 2024, obviously the start of a new year. So first of all, some pretty positive news, and that's that the Royal Obidos Golf Resort and Spa, which was featured by us exclusively for the last probably 18 months, sold out. So every phase now is completely sold out, both the fund route and the company incorporation route, so there is no product left. You might think that's a problem, but of course we've got plan B, and that's what I'm going to run through today. So I'm going to explain a really exciting small development in Porto. It's the second largest city in Portugal, and it's a really exciting development, so I'll come on to that in a second. I'm going to try keep this short and sweet. So if you've not visited this channel before, let me just run through who Holborn Assets, Holborn Pass is. So Holborn Assets is a global wealth management company. We've been around 25 years. It was our anniversary this year, or last year should I say now. And obviously we've got offices all over the world and about 500 employees that work for us. Holborn Pass, which I'm also a partner on, is the division that looks exclusively after global mobility solutions. So that is basically residency or citizenship by investment. Okay, so why should you choose Holborn, first of all? I mean, let's face it, there's plenty of other people out there, and I'm always aware of that, and it's important that we deliver service. But first and foremost, we give you an end-to-end solution. So it's not just selling you a product, but we engage with lawyers. We've got tax and financial planning services, cross-border services, if you would like to eventually move to Portugal in this instance. So that's really important. We kind of join everything up, join the dots together, as you would say in the UK. Myself, I'm a chartered financial planner. I'm qualified both to UK standards, European standards, and also I'm qualified in the US as well, although I don't practice in the US with the US residents. And I live here in Spain. I've done the same thing myself, should I say. I've been an expat for nearly 20 years now. I've lived in the Middle East and here in Spain, and I'm always looking at plan B and C myself. Okay, so first of all, why Portugal? Look, you're watching this because you've already done some research, or I would hope so. So you kind of know the answers to a lot of these things. It's a great place to live. It's peaceful. It's a great place to retire. It's got a really good non-habitual tax regime, and contrary to everything you see online, it has not finished. It has just been amended. So it's now focused more towards professional, high-value jobs and the self-employed, no longer passive income and retirees. So that's an important thing to remember, maybe for the future. It's got a good healthcare system, like most places in Europe have, and a good education system as well. What about the passport then? Well, again, after the 5 or 6 years, it's really the start of the 6th year, you can apply for your Portuguese passport or take permanent residency, and that's what a lot of people do, take the PR route, and then maybe they can concentrate on going for the DIBRA later. There's no specific time that you have to do that. So you can pass your language test online at any time. It's pretty easy, A2 language. And the other caveat is you've got to physically visit Portugal for 5 weeks over the 5-year period. No hardship there. You can do it as a holiday for a couple of weeks at a time. You don't have to do it each year. It's a good passport, like most of the European ones. You can get everywhere in the world without visas, 187. And you can live, work and play in any EU country at all, once you have a passport. Okay, so like I said to begin with, this is sold out. The Obidos, Royal Obidos, great product, good hotel. It's been extremely popular. So we've got something else to replace it, and that's the Gaia Riverside tourist apartments. Now this is a really small development. I think this will only be around for maybe 3 or 4 weeks. This is a picture here of Porto. So Porto sits on the river in the north of Portugal. Obviously, it's where port comes from. Lots of trading was done out of this port as well originally, over the centuries. Stunning city, lots going on. A little bit more concentrated, shall we say, than a normal big city. And here is the Gaia Riverside. Where my mouse is now is where the development is. This is an artist's impression. It's only just started construction. This whole area down here, I'll go into a bit more detail in a second, but it's on the banks of the Douro. The Douro is a famous river, and you've got some famous wineries. Del Douro is a beautiful region of Portugal and makes some exceptionally good wines, as I am well aware. Okay, so this is an artist's impression of the final development. As you can see, it's quite a small one. It's a 3-floor building, 10 touristic apartments. So it's got a touristica license, which means that if you want to take this as collateral in the future, as opposed to getting the return of your funds, you're able to rent it out on Airbnb, or there's a managed service as well. You can do it privately. So it's a really good investment. And tourist licenses are quite hard to come by now as well. Interiors are going to look like this, very modern. So the outside will retain the original features of the kind of common feel of the area, but obviously inside will be super modern. So how does it work? Okay, it's exactly the same as Royal Obidos. It's an investment via an investment fund. It's on a prime location on the Riverside in Porto. It's 10 serviced apartments, like I said, that have got a tourist license. And the client gets an upfront rental of 101,000 euros. So the price, or should I say the investment, the capital required, is 399, exactly the same as the Royal Obidos. There's a buyback guarantee in year 6, or when you get your passport and your PR, of 500,000. So you're getting a return on your investment to start off with. Now you do take one of the units as collateral with the option to keep that apartment, and you don't have to decide now. In 4 years' time, you have to tell the developer that you're going to take the apartment or you're going to take your 500,000 back. Obviously, a couple of things to bear in mind. What's the value of the properties around there at that stage? I would imagine they're substantially higher, and also the income that you could derive from keeping the apartment because of that tourist license. Now, completion is expected to be finished in December 26. It's an 18-month build time. Ground's about to be broken, like I said, probably in the next 2 or 3 months. All the building licenses are in place, but you don't really have to worry about that because it's done through a fund. There's no risk to you. It's the fund and the assets that are held within the fund that do all the kind of worrying and thinking and etc. A little bonus for you, you do get to stay there. So once it's operational, you can stay for 3 weeks a year free of charge. One of those is in peak season, which is generally in the summer, and 2 need to be in the off season if you want to maximize that. Now this area, and I'll come onto it again in another slide, is being a gentrified area, shall we say. It's an old docks, but now it's kind of cool and trendy. It's got 2 5-star hotels actually within a stone's throw of this property, and it's full of old wineries and docks where the products used to be brought to and from many years ago. So this is a little graphic of the area. So as you can see, right in the middle is the Gaia Riverside. We've got the Hilton Gaia, we've got the lodge on the left, we've got the garden viewpoints, we've got bars and restaurants in the bottom left hand side. It's where the river cruise boats come up as well, as you can see on the bottom right. And there are some wine cellars and tasting rooms to this day as well that do lots of tours, etc. for tourists. Okay, that's it. Really quick and simple. QR code there to book a free meeting with me. Contact details on the screen, my WhatsApp number. So please book a meeting. I can go through your options and make sure it's the right thing for you. Now, when this sells out, which it will do, I know that we're launching another development in Albufeira, which is down in the Algarve on the south coast. So if you can't get in for this one, please stay in touch and subscribe below. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can book a meeting there as well, and let's keep in touch. Thanks very much. See you. Bye-bye.